Okay, so when I am either doing onboarding calls or answering onboarding emails or whatnot, one of the most common things that I get asked is how I myself take notes each day. And that's not because I'm anyone special. I am not any kind of productivity influencer or famous person. I think it's just really interesting to see how someone who is an avid note taker takes notes each day. And as we've said a few times before, your note taking really is a reflection of how your own brain works. So it's a deeply personal thing to give someone a look into your notes, and why I think it's relatively uncommon to see that. But I'm going to take you through mine. This is actually from my day today so far. I've copied it into a different graph. So that's why it says mind map. But these are my actual notes from today. Now, I have stripped out some sensitive information or just like personal things that I didn't want to share. And I'll kind of point out where that is, so that you don't, look at my daily reflection and say, wow, that's really lame. But let me kind of start walking through here. And if you have any questions about any of it, you can just feel free to ask in the thread. So first off, daily goals. This is probably my favorite way to start each morning. It helps me get a grasp on the day. I also sometimes will do this the night before. But for this one, I did it this morning when I woke up. And I usually divide it into three categories. I have two main projects I work on. There's Reflect, where I'm the head of growth, and Startup Cookie, which is my agency that I run. And then I include a third personal category, which has fun things like tax documents. Normally, I'll just do three per category. You can see here I did more in Reflect and less in the others. That just happened accidentally. I just was writing things down and kind of thinking, oh, there's actually a lot of things that I want to accomplish for Reflect today, because I wasn't online most of the day yesterday. So great. I know today's going to be a dense Reflect day. And now I know that's where the priority for my day is going to be. So that's the goals. Do all three. And then in the evening, I like to revisit these and see what I accomplished and if I didn't accomplish anything. And if I didn't, why? Is it that I got distracted or my day got derailed by something, or was it just a bad goal to put in there to begin with? Okay. Next, daily reflection. This is probably the most pleasant one. So I highly recommend everyone do a daily reflection or a daily journal of some kind. This is my own format. Definitely steal it. I have a video on it specifically. It's just what I have found is best for me, but it includes a reframing exercise where I start with some kind of statement that's bothering me or something I'm stressed or anxious about. I force myself to rephrase it in a positive light. And then I just list out how the best version of myself will handle that scenario. And I think that just kind of helps me start off my day on a little bit more of a positive note. And then the gratitude. This is a common one. These are just 5 things that I'm thankful for. This is one of those where, like, I promise my gratitude is not this lame. The 8 hours of sleep one was real. If I ever get 8 hours of sleep, it's going into my gratitude journaling. The rest of it's kind of vague, and some of it's food oriented because I stripped out the personal stuff that I'm thankful for. But that's a really easy one. Then I include a top priority for the day. It usually looks something like this, like enjoy having a busy day. Because that is kind of my top priority. I want to enjoy my day. And oftentimes, you get busy, you work yourself into a tizzy. I want to avoid that. And my affirmation is for my upcoming travel. Sometimes I have to remind myself that I love traveling because I hate flying. So that's just kind of a personal reminder. Okay. Number 3, daily log. So this is a simple one I've also talked about before. This is where I just log what happens in my day. So usually I include a rough time. I usually will round it to the nearest half hour. And then I'll kind of start off with a statement, and where relevant, I will include a little bit of context. So for example, waking up and getting ready at 6:30 a.m. Well, that happens every single day. So there's not really any point in logging that if I'm not including any context. And this day I got 8 hours of sleep for the first time, and honestly, I can remember, and I felt very proud of that. However, slightly bummed that I still felt groggy. So I recorded it. But then, coffee, breakfast, writing my daily goals and the daily reflection. Well, nothing really special happened there. So I didn't have any context. So I didn't force myself to include context. But as you go through here, I mark everything from checking my email to planning out this video I'm recording, and to an onboarding call I'm coming up, all that good stuff. Record everything. This is also one that's really easy to do. Give maybe a voice memo. You can just take a voice recording and have it formatted like this. for you. So that might be one of my next videos. Maybe check out our YouTube page coming up soon. But super simple, include a daily log. And also, by the way, what I do is I just highlighted all of this and then I ran the decorate with backlinks prompt. And that's how I added all these. All right, habits. So this one comes from a template. And actually, I should have mentioned this for the daily reflection too. I set all of these up as templates. So for my daily reflection, I just type / daily reflection, and I have this. Makes it super easy. I can just start writing first thing in the morning. I do the same thing with my habits. So if you have your habits, just set them up as a template and you can call on them each day. And then I can just kind of go through and check them as I go. But that is, what you are seeing up here. Just my list of daily habits. And as I accomplish them, I'll go through and, if I want to look like a week ago, if I exercised, then I will know whether I did or not. So that one's super simple. We will get to the last one here as my computer's about to run out of battery. The simple to-do list. So this is probably actually my most important one. If I were to only take notes every day, it would just be an ongoing to-do list. But you can see it's just a simple checklist of everything that I need to do. And it is largely based on the daily goals. If it's not based on the daily goals, that's bad. Some people will choose to put their habits in here. I like to separate them just because the to-do list gets pretty long anyway. And one thing I will just quickly mention on my to-do list, I used to break them up by project like I do my daily goals. Recently, I haven't been because then I found I was mentally just like bouncing back and forth between projects. What I like about this this format is that I can put them in order of priority or in the order that I want to do them. And then I can kind of just go through and make sure what's next on priority is next up in my list. So right now actually I should move this up because I'm recording this Twitter video right now. And after it, I will record the Reflect Academy video. Then I plan to move on to editing it. This might get out of line because, maybe it's like I'm going to, do a task and move it up. So if I am completing this, then I will just kind of bump it up here. And I like all of my pending to do things to be down below. So that is pretty much it. This is what my entire day looks like in my notes when everything's expanded. I do want to emphasize that most of this is done via voice note and AI. So it looks like a lot of text, but it's really not. And I collapse them all so that every time, I come into my notes, I just have this nice clean list sitting here waiting for me. But I can't emphasize how much this brings a level of mental clarity, and it completely avoids that feeling of waking up and not knowing what to do. I do truly feel like this is how my mind works. I like to add these little emojis to the front just to make it a little bit more inviting. That's completely up to you. So yeah, if you have any questions, please leave it in the thread, but I hope you found something in here useful that you can apply to your own notes.